So good morning, everybody. Okay, so we have another hot day, and working with breathing over the past several weeks. We're going to continue with that again today. Maybe do a little bit longer meditation or relaxation kind of at the end, so that we have some time to kind of cool down a little bit. So I'm going to ask you to come forward in the front of your chair. I'm going to just grab a light here. And have your feet right underneath your knees. And let your hands rest on your lap. And then notice, are you kind of leaning forward or are you leaning back? Can you bring yourself so that you're sort of in balance here? You're not leaning too far forward, not leaning too far back. Most of us, by the way, tend to lean forward a little bit too much. That puts a lot of stress on the spine, on the neck and the shoulders. So just by coming back a little bit, we come into better balance. It's a little bit easier for the body to stay in this position. And notice your breath. So notice the way air is moving in and out of your body if you're able to breathe through your nose. Notice if it's difficult to get a full deep breath today. And again, it's been very, very hot and the air quality has been a little bit challenging. So just notice if it feels like you're kind of working hard to get that breath. We're going to shift into, pardon me, we're going to shift into a little bit slower breathing. That can help if you have been having difficulty getting breath. So let's just start by bringing our focus into the chest and into the belly. You can close your eyes if that feels okay, or just drop your gaze. And as you inhale and exhale, see if you can pull air all the way into your body. See if you can let the air move out completely. So you might visualize your body,
is it loud enough?
In this breathing like a sponge soaking up water. So with every inhalation, it's like you're soaking up all the water. With every exhalation, you want to squeeze out the breath like you'd squeeze out a sponge, so you're squeezing out that water. So again, it's like using a sponge to sop up a spill. You want to make sure the sponge is ready to receive the water, and that's your body. Your body is ready to receive the breath. And the only way to receive a full deep breath is to make sure that the breath before that is completely emptied from your body. So I'd like you to just continue to visualize this sponge. Breathing in is sopping up the water. Breathing out is wringing the water out of the sponge. And let your breath get slow. As a consequence of deepening the breathing, we're able to slow it down a little bit. Part of the reason for these long, slow breaths is that it allows you to kind of recalibrate your normal, your natural breath. So for many of us, we breathe very shallowly, very rapidly, and we're not even aware of it. When we recalibrate, there's a couple of things that happen. So with each deep breath in and out, you're getting more oxygen exchange in your body. So as you breathe in, you're getting more oxygen in. As you breathe out, you're getting rid of more carbon dioxide. So that's making space for more oxygen to come in on the subsequent breaths. And this helps with a host of things. It helps with your organ function. It helps with your limbs, your brain, your eyes. It helps with everything in your body. And the second reason for this long, slow, deep breathing is to elicit the relaxation response. Again, if you're someone who breathes quickly, shallowly, you're operating with a certain level of stress in your body. You're kind of in fight or flight mode, a little more than you're in relaxation mode. So this just shifts things into that more relaxed state. And when we're in a more relaxed state, our bodies feel cooler. We feel like we can handle more of life's challenges when they come to us. Any digestive issues that you might be having can be greatly improved simply by shifting your breath. When you're in a stress response, there's not enough blood and oxygen going to your belly and to your intestines and to all your organs of digestion. All of that energy, all of that blood and all of that energy is going out to your limbs. When we shift into rest, we're able to digest a little bit easier. In many cultures, they take a little rest period after lunch or after dinner. And that has a really strong impact on how well we can digest. If I'm eating on the go in my car or back when we worked in offices at the desk, or just kind of doing it mindlessly quickly and then on to the next thing, my body doesn't have a chance to get into that digest mode. So it sets up a host of digestive issues. So wow, all of these things are being affected by the breathing. And we're still breathing deeply in and out, pulling that air into the belly, expanding the lungs, the rib cage, the belly, the abdomen. And when we breathe out, pulling the navel in slightly toward the spine, that helps to press out that breath that's left in the lower lobes of the lungs. Now, if you're comfortable and you want to make a little restriction at the back of your throat, you can do that, and that creates a little bit of a sound. So you'll hear a sound in your head as you're breathing in and out. It might sound like the ocean, or I like to think of it like when you're at the beach, you get a seashell and you put that seashell up to your ear, you can hear the sound of the ocean in that seashell. That's kind of what the breath sounds like here. Again, with each breath in and out, feeling your body relaxing a little bit more. So let's scan and notice tension in the neck and shoulders. And with every inhalation and exhalation, let that tension go. Take a couple more of these really full, deep breaths, filling your body as completely as you can on the inhalations and emptying your body completely on the exhalations. And now release the control of your breath and go back to your natural breathing. Whatever that feels like for you right now. Notice if there's a difference. Notice if you feel more present in your body and in this moment. And then let your eyes gently open. Take the arms up overhead and stretch the body, reaching and lifting, and then lengthen through the right side a little bit more, and then through the left side a little bit more. Then we'll go back and forth a couple of times, breathing in and breathing out. And then let's take the arms all the way down. Let your hands rest on your lap and roll your shoulders forward, up, back, and down a few times. Letting the breath stay deep, and if it has gotten shallow, let's deepen it again. And then reverse the direction of your circle, so go around the other way. Great. And then relax your shoulders, take your hands from your lap, and let's squeeze and extend the fingers. So squeezing and extending through the fingers, breathing in and breathing out. And then we'll extend the arms with the fingers up like you're saying stop, and then we'll bring the fingers down and up and down. So as you're doing this movement, getting a little bit of release in the wrists and circle around at the wrist and reverse direction. Great. And then we'll take the right arm, extend it out, keep your elbow straight and drop your arm down closer to your knee. And then take your other hand and pull back on your fingers. So we're getting a good stretch through the fingers, through the palm of the hand, up into the wrist. If your elbow is straight, you're gonna feel that up into the forearm and a little bit above the elbow perhaps. Breathing in and breathing out. And then we'll bring the fingers down toward the floor and press on the back of the hand. So as you're pressing on the back of the hand, once again, we're getting a stretch here for the wrist, forearm, elbow area. All right, and then let's release that. Let's circle that wrist around a little bit and go to the other side. So left hand, extend with the hand down closer to the knee, elbow straight, and we're gonna pull back on the fingers. So we're getting a stretch here for the hand, for the fingers, for the wrist, for the arm, the elbow. Breathing in and breathing out. And then we'll release that, bring the fingers down, and we're gonna pull back on the back of the hand. So not on your fingers, but on the back of your hand. Pulling down, relax your shoulder away from your ear. So sometimes that creeps up a little bit, so make sure your shoulder is down away from your ear. And inhale and exhale. Great, and then we'll release that and circle that wrist around as well. Let's bring both arms out to the sides, have your palms facing up. One of the nice things about doing a practice at home is that we're not bumping into each other like we do in the room at the senior center. So we're just gonna bend the elbows and tap the shoulders. We're gonna go nice and slow today. So especially with the arm stuff. So when your arms are up above your shoulders, as we're gonna get to in a moment, that puts a little more stress on your heart. And when we move quickly, that also puts a little more stress on your heart. Now that's not a bad thing. That's kind of creates some aerobic movement. But when the weather is super hot, slowing it down can make this a little more bearable and a little bit safer for you. So the next time your hands tap your shoulders, we're gonna go up overhead instead of out to the side. So we'll do this several times. Just going up overhead, so nice and slow. Good, excellent. And reach as high as you can. So especially if you got a little something happening in the shoulder, the elbow, the arm, it feels a little tight or a little bit twisted in there, just reach up as best you can. And we'll go just 2 more times, lifting and lowering. Great, and last time, up and all the way down. Great, let's release the arms. Now bring your feet a little wider than your hips so that you've got room between your knees. So we're gonna do this funky little thing here. You're gonna take your hands, bring your hands together, like kind of like you're gonna say a prayer. And then you're gonna bring your fingers down toward the floor, right between your legs, right? So breathing in and breathing out, we're gonna go up overhead and keeping the palms together, go all the way down. Great. Now as you come up, go out over your right shoulder, bend your right elbow, go way, way back, and then come all the way down. And then over the left shoulder. So keep your palms together. Great. And we'll do that again. So go all the way up and all the way down. Breathing in and breathing out to the right. And all the way down. Keep breathing as we go to the left. And down and up overhead. Lift and lengthen through your spine and down. And breathing in and breathing out to the right. And to the left. Let's go through this just one more time, coming all the way up, breathing in and out, coming all the way down, going to the right, and going to the left. Excellent. Let's shake out the hands a little bit here. Okay, you can bring your feet a little bit closer together. And now we're going to take the right arm and we're just going to make some nice big circles with that right arm. Again, go nice and slow. If your arm doesn't go up overhead, if your arm kind of comes out to the side a little bit, because that's your limitation, that's okay. So just go with what works for you. So we always want to work within the edge of pain, right? So we get to an edge that's a little uncomfortable, and it's okay to be there. It's okay to experience some discomfort, because that helps us to kind of break out of the things that are limiting us. But beyond that is that sensation of pain, and we don't ever really want to cross that threshold. That's a big one. So at some point when your arm is down toward the floor, you're going to switch direction and go the other way, right? So the reason I like to switch direction with the arm down toward the floor is that the shoulder joint at that point is more stable. When the arm is up overhead, the shoulder joint is not as stable. So I'm more likely to pinch a little something in there, or to injure a little something in there. So it's better to do the switch when the arm is down. So let's go one more time around. We'll let the arm finish all the way down toward the floor. Okay, now reach down. You're going to lean to your right side like you're trying to touch your fingertips to the floor, and try not to roll forward. So you want to have your shoulder, your left shoulder open. Don't let your left buttock come up off the chair, and then come all the way back up. We're going to do this a few times. So sit up really tall, breathe in, breathe out, and we're going to reach down with the right fingertips like you're trying to touch the floor, and then slowly come back up. So we're just going to do this a few times. Now notice what's happening in the left side of your body, especially near your waist, your hip, your ribs. So a couple more. Notice if you're breathing smoothly and easily, or if it's a little challenging to get a full deep breath right now. And one more time all the way over and up. Beautiful. Now take that right arm, sweep it forward, and then we're going to bring it all the way around behind us as far as it'll go. And then turn the palm down and go across your body the other way. So breathe in and out as we bring the arm back and around. Now, we're doing just the arm at this point, but I'm going to invite you, the next time you bring your right arm over to the right, twist your body. See how far you can twist around in that position. And then we're going to twist back the other way. So now we're getting a little bit of movement in the waist, in the ribs. This is what I call the Vanna White, right? So for those of you who like Wheel of Fortune, this is what Vanna does, right? So she's walking around and pointing to those letters. She does that beautiful flourish. Okay, one more time, all the way back and all the way around. And then we're going to take that arm and we're going to sweep the arm behind the back. So bring the arm behind the back, take your left hand and grab hold of your right. So behind you, it's kind of like that. So you're holding on to that right hand and pull that right hand over to the left a little bit. And now you're going to drop your left ear toward your left shoulder and let your neck muscles relax. So if your teeth, your upper teeth and your lower teeth are touching, you probably are holding some tension in your neck. So why don't you open your mouth a little bit, let your teeth come apart, the upper teeth and the lower teeth come apart. Breathe in, breathe out. Releasing into this. Now as we hold here, keeping the ear as close to the shoulder as you can, turn your nose down toward the floor and then rotate up toward the ceiling. And rotating down and up. Breathing in and breathing out, slow and steady, nice gentle movement for the neck. Great, and then we'll bring the head back to center. We're going to release that right arm, let it hang down by your side, let your left arm come down by your side, close your eyes, and notice how much longer your right arm feels. So notice if it feels like you could almost touch the floor with your right fingertips, but your left arm feels like it's a little bit shorter. Wow. Let your eyes gently open. Let your hands come back to your lap. So we're going to create some length on this left side now. So take your left arm and slowly begin to sweep it up and around. So we're just going to do these nice big circles like we did on the other side. So part of what we do when we feel this different length in one limb, one from the other, after we do these stretches, part of what we're feeling is actual length in the muscles themselves. we're feeling more space in the joints. So this is microscopic, you guys. Now it's not like super noticeable. You're not going to get like, 5 inches of length here, but your brain is calibrated to a certain resting length of your muscles and a certain gap inside of your joints. And when we stretch, what we do is we change that ratio a little bit, and the brain has to recalibrate. So that's why it feels like it's a mild difference from one side to the other. So the next time that your arm is down toward the floor, we're going to reverse direction. So remember, you want to do that on the down, not on the up, because that keeps your shoulder a little safer here. It's more stable. Shoulder joint is the most mobile joint in the body. Kind of cool. We can do all kinds of things with our arms that would not be possible if we didn't have this remarkable joint here in the shoulder. But that means that the shoulder is a little bit less stable when it's an extension, which is when it's up overhead. Great. So the next time that your arm comes forward, we're going to pause here and then turn your palm up and rotate the arm out and then rotate the arm around. So we're starting not moving the body, we're just moving the arm, right? So right now, the work that I'm doing is right here in this shoulder joint, right? I'm getting as much space in there as I can. I'm going to do this just a couple more times, and then we'll add the body, we'll add the twist, right? So just a little different intention for what we're doing. Looks like the same movement, but slightly less. Okay, so now the next time that you bring your arm behind you, twist your whole body. So you're turning around and then come all the way around to the right. So we're breathing in and breathing out. Now try not to slide your bottom on the chair. You want to keep your backside rooted into the chair so that this movement is in your spine. It's in your back, it's in your waist, it's in your ribs, it's in your upper back. And don't forget, you're breathing in and out smoothly and easily. So there's no holding your breath as you're doing this. Good. Great. And one more time back and around. Wonderful. I'm going to take that arm. Let's bring it behind the back. So we're just kind of leaving it behind the back. Take your right hand, grab hold of your left and just kind of pull it over a little bit here. Breathing in, breathing out. We're going to drop the right ear to the right shoulder and then turn the head down and up. Nice, slow, steady breath. And again, we're working within a range of comfort or discomfort, but certainly not into pain. Right, so keeping the ear as close to the shoulder. If you have very limited movement here, just work with that limited movement. If you have a better range on this side or you had better range on the other side, that's just something to notice. And then let's bring the head back to center. We're going to release that arm. Now let both arms hang down by your sides. Close your eyes for a moment. Sit up nice and tall. Take some breaths. And notice if it feels like your arms are the same length again. If your fingers on the right and your fingers on the left are the same distance from the floor, or you have that sensation of them being the same distance. And then you can let your eyes gently open, bring your hands back to your lap. Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit here. We're going to move right to the lower part of the body. So if you extend your right leg, have your heel on the floor. So that means you need to be right up near the front edge of your chair. If you're too far back, you'll feel like you're kind of getting cut off in the back of your legs a little bit here. So let's squeeze and extend the toes, keeping the torso up nice and tall as you do. Good. And then we'll point and flex the foot. So you feel that movement at the ankle. And then circle around at the ankle. Breathing in and breathing out. And reverse direction. Noticing your posture. If you're leaning or if your spine isn't nice and tall, keep your spine up nice and tall. And then we're going to bring that heel back down to the floor. We're going to rotate the whole leg in and out. Okay, so rotating in and out, and that movement is partially in the ankle. If you look down, you'll see some movement in your ankle. You might see a little bit of movement in your knee because there is a slight amount there. But I really want you to focus on what's happening way up here in the hip. So if you take your right hand, extend your thumb and your first finger, you create a little saddle here, and you're going to put that saddle right in that hip crease, right where the leg and the hip meet. You should feel movement there. You should feel the muscle and the tissues in there as you're rotating the bone in that upper leg. Good. One more time. Great. And then back to center. Take your hands to the chair right alongside you. Sit up nice and tall. And then we're going to bend that knee and extend the knee. And you might do this with your heel kind of dragging on the floor. If you don't have a lot of strength in your quadriceps muscles, that's a good way to start. But if you can, I'm going to encourage you to lift your foot up off the floor and bend and extend that knee to the best of your ability. Now, as you bend, bring your foot as far under your chair as you can, and as you extend, see if you can squeeze these muscles and get a nice straight line there in the leg. So breathing in and breathing out. Now, some of us have some limitations on how far back we can bring this. If you've had a knee replacement or a knee injury, or you've got an injury to your leg or to your hip, you may not be able to bring the foot really far under, and that's okay. So just do the best you can. The next time you bend your knee and have your foot under, put your toes on the floor. And then see if you can slide your foot back or wiggle. I'm going to wiggle if you can see that I'm wiggling my toes back a little bit more. So I have some compromise on this side. I had an accident and some surgery back in March. And so I'm still working to regain my range of movement in this knee. And it's quite a challenge, balancing strength in these muscles here and flexibility in the knee. It's sort of a dance. We have to go back and forth with it. So I can feel a lot of stretch here with my foot on the floor, with my toes on the floor. I can feel a lot of stretch across the knee and into the thigh. Now keep your toes on the floor and see if you can bring your heel down toward the floor, and then lift your heel up. So we're not moving the foot, we're just bringing the heel down and up. So you'll see your leg move, and you might feel the area of stretch change. You might feel that discomfort a little bit different, right? I can sure feel that. So let's do this a few more times. Notice your breath. Notice if your breath is smooth, or if you're having some difficulty breathing, if you're holding your breath, if you're resisting. When we're doing things like this and you're holding your breath, that usually means there's some resistance in there. That can be a physical resistance. It can also be a mental resistance. And not saying that it's something that's in your mind necessarily, but your brain is saying, this is not normal for me. This is not a movement that I'm used to making. So the brain might not want you to or the brain might not acknowledge that you actually have that range. So just a couple more times. Good. All right. And then we're going to lean back slightly, and let's straighten and extend that leg. So we have that right leg extended, hands on the chair right alongside you, sit up nice and tall. And then using your belly and your thigh, you're going to lift and lower that heel from the floor with the leg straight. Now notice if you're moving, if you're rocking back when you're lifting, if you're kind of crouching forward, see if you can keep your spine up nice and tall so you don't have to lift very far. You want to feel that right here, you guys. Right here, anywhere from here to here. So from your thigh down to a little bit below your knee. You might actually even feel it up in your hip. So I should say that as well. But you shouldn't feel it in your back. You shouldn't feel it in your shoulders. You shouldn't feel it in your neck. You shouldn't be gripping the chair like you're holding on for dear life. And the next time that you lift that leg, hold and breathe. And keep breathing and keep holding. Press out through your heel. Really strengthen these muscles here in the thigh. So engage those muscles. The muscles in the top part of your leg are called your quadriceps muscles, in the front top part of your leg, quadriceps muscles. There are 4 of them, and what they do is they help to straighten your knee. They're the main muscles that straighten your knee. They also help to keep your leg lifted in this position that we're in right now. Can you hold this just for 2 more breaths? There's 1. and 2. And slowly lower that down. Good, we're gonna bend that knee. Give the leg a little massage. You can kind of tap it a little bit. You can squeeze a little bit. So those quadriceps muscles will appreciate a little bit of massage work here. And then you're gonna scoot over to the right side of your chair. Good. Now take your leg, extend it out in front. This is why it's so important not to have arms on your chair. And you're gonna slide that leg out and slide it back. And slide it out and back. And breathe in and breathe out. So we're sliding the leg out and sliding the leg back. The next time you slide out to the right, you're gonna hold here. Now point your toes. That means your toes are reaching toward the floor. And then see if you can crawl your foot a little farther away from your body. It's like your foot's trying to take a trip out to the right. If you've started to turn in the direction of your leg, turn and face me. So I want your body facing this way. So you're nice. So you're not turning your head. You're actually straight on with your shoulders. Breathing in and breathing out. Take your right hand and place it down on your right thigh. Okay. So now let's see if we can keep the left shoulder open. We're going to hold on to the chair over here, and then we're just going to lean into that right side. And then come all the way up. And lean into the right side and come all the way up. And one more time, we're gonna lean into the right side and we're gonna hold here. So wherever your hand is, whether it's above your knee or below your knee, just kind of notice that. Now, if you've got a lot of weight in your hand, in other words, if you're really relying on your arm here, see if you can use the muscles here in the side of your waist to hold you up. Okay, so this one's going to be challenging for the side of the waist, you guys. Take your right hand off your leg and bring it forward. And then bring it back. And then bring it forward. So we're still leaning. If you've set up a little bit, the muscles on the side of the waist are not doing their job. So one more time, we're going to come forward and then bring that hand right back down to the leg. Excellent. And then we're going to come all the way back up. Now with your left hand on the chair on the other side, we're going to lean into that left side. So keep your right leg extended, toes reaching toward the floor. We're going to bend the left elbow, breathe in and out. Take the right arm up past your ear if you can, and then come all the way back. So we're not going to hold that because what I said in the beginning, with the arm up overhead, we're challenging the cardiovascular system a little bit, challenging that heart a little bit. It's a little too hot to do that much of a challenge here. If it's not comfortable for you to go overhead, you can go forward with your arm, right? So that's fine too. So a couple more of these. I'm going to just show you that forward movement. You can do the overhead movement if you want. It's always nice to have options. That's what I think. And then one more time. Excellent. Good, good. Okay, now right leg, I'm going to ask you to bend your knee and slide your heel in so that your heel comes underneath your knee. We're still dealing with the knees wide apart. So if you've brought your knees back together, bring them wide apart as they were, and keep your body oriented to this left leg. Okay, so don't let your body orient to the right. We're going to keep the body oriented to the left. We're going to take the right arm and we're going to bring it down onto that right thigh. All right, so we're just kind of leaning over to the side. Now, turn your palm so it's up toward the ceiling. Take your left hand and bring it up onto your left shoulder. And then lift your left elbow way up and bring it behind. Breathing in and out, we're going to come forward. We're going to rotate forward and bring your elbow down onto your palm. And then come all the way up and all the way forward. You can lean heavily into that right arm. So use your shoulder muscles, use your arm muscles, use your leg, and breathe in and breathe out as we do this little bit of a twist here. Looks good. 2 more times. 1. Great. And 2. Excellent. Okay, don't sit up quite yet. Take that left hand, place it on your thigh. We're going to rotate forward, out to the left, and then push up. Okay? So let's take this leg now and we're going to walk it back. Scoot your backside to the center of your chair. Extend both legs. Point your toes. Look down at your feet and notice if your right leg is longer than your left leg. Kind of cool when that happens, I think. So, wow, look at that. All right, let's bend the knee. And we're gonna keep that left leg extended with the heel on the floor. We're gonna start on this side, same things that we did on the other. So starting with the toes, squeezing and extending, breathing in and breathing out. Great. And then we'll point and flex the foot. Now, as you point and flex the foot, notice your posture. Try not to get into that little slumped position. You want to stay upright. Inhale and exhale, and then circle around at the ankle. Nice. And reverse the direction of your circles. Great. And then we'll bring that heel down to the floor so the leg stays extended, and we're going to rotate the whole leg in and out. So looking again at the left leg, just like we did on the right, you'll notice you've got some movement happening in the ankle. You got a little bit of movement, a little bit of rotational movement happening in the knee. And then the most of the movement, though, what we're really focusing on is up here in the hip. So if you take your left hand, extend your first finger and your thumb, make that little saddle right there, and then place that little saddle right on the hip. You'll feel that. So as we're rotating the bone, the leg bone in the hip socket, we're feeling all the tissue and all the muscles underneath. Kind of, they're moving around in there, getting some rotation. Nice. Okay, and then back to center. So having your hands on the chair right alongside you, sitting up nice and tall, breathing in, breathing out. We're going to bend and extend this knee. Same thing that we did on the other side. So just bending and extending. And notice if this side feels different, right? So if you have, if you've got a difference, an injury or surgery or anything from one side to the other, whether it's the knee or the hip or even the ankle, if you've had some ankle surgery, you might notice a difference here, just in this extension. So the next time that you bring the heel underneath, so you're bending the knee, we're going to bring the toes to the floor. So with the toes on the floor, we're going to scoot the foot back a little bit. Okay, breathing in, breathing out. And you might notice that, gee, on this side I'm feeling more, or on this side I'm feeling less than I was on the other side. So there's that side-to-side comparison. And then we're going to drop the heel down to the floor if you can, and then lift the heel up, but keep the toes on the floor. So lowering the heel and lifting the heel. Breathing in and breathing out. The toes never leave the floor though. So your toes are on the floor the whole time. And it's just a shift in what we're stretching, how we're stretching. Yeah. So we're not aware sometimes of the patterns that we create. And those patterns can be really simple, like say the way that we sleep, the position we sleep in, or the way we cross our legs when we sit, we develop these patterns. There can be more obvious patterns. Again, if you've had an injury, if you've had some surgery, that's going to set up some different patterns in your body too. So part of what we do here in this side-to-side comparison is we look at the differences. And we might look at the differences and say, you know, this is as good as it's going to get, and that's okay. And we might look at the differences and say, maybe there's a chance that I could change something here. And we work with that kind of a little on the more gentle side. Okay, just one more time, lifting and lowering the heel. Great. And then we're going to lean back slightly. We're going to extend that leg, put the heel on the floor, really firm up these muscles here in the top part of the thigh. And then we're going to lift and lower. So holding onto the chair just to make sure your spine stays in integrity, because it's really easy to do this when I don't have any frame of reference. As soon as I put my hands there, oh, I'm really aware that I'm slumping forward, and that's not where I want to be. I want to be in integrity here with my spine. Lift and lower, breathe in, breathe out. Looks beautiful. It's tough to do. And the next time you lift that leg, let's hold here. So once again, the muscles here in the top part of the leg, the thigh muscles, the quadriceps muscles, there are 4 of them. They are working really hard now to keep your knee straight and to keep your leg lifted. So they're bending at the hip, but they're straightening at the knee. That's a really, really important It's a really important function on both sides of the body because it's these muscles here on both legs and the tops of the thighs. When they're strong, they get you up and down the stairs easily. They get you on and off the chair, in and out of the car. Your mobility can be greatly improved. Your ability to remain independent, greatly improved by focusing on these quadriceps muscles and strengthening them. Can we hold here just for 2 more breaths? 2 long breaths, you guys. See if you can do this. I know you can. There's 1. And there's 2. Great. Lower that leg down. Thank goodness. Bend that knee and give that thigh a little bit of a massage here. You can tap or you can squeeze. All right, and then we're going to scoot over to that left side of the chair so that your left cheek is just about off the chair. And again, you're going to stay facing forward, so don't turn your body, but extend your left leg, and then we're going to slide it out and slide it back, and slide it out and slide it back. Breathing in and breathing out. It's a good way to dust your floor if you're on a hardwood floor like I am. I can feel some of the dust that I haven't gotten to yet this week. So I'm starting a little bit of that right now. Next time your leg is out to the left, let's hold here and point your toes. That means the toes are reaching toward the floor. And then see if you can kind of walk your foot out a little bit more, if you can get a little more length out of that leg. So breathe in, breathe out. So the muscles here are nice and strong. We're going to take the left hand, slide it down the left leg, and then keeping the right shoulder back. So don't let the shoulder roll forward. We're going to keep the right shoulder back. We're just going to lean into that side and then come up. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's lean into the side and come up. A few more of these. Nice, long, slow breaths in and out. Leaning to the side and coming back up. Slow and steady. That's it. And the next time that you're over to the left side, we're going to hold here. Good. And breathe. Now notice if your shoulders rolled forward. I see some shoulders rolled forward. Bring the shoulder back a little bit. Using the muscles here in the side of the waist, we're going to take that left hand off the leg and up and bring it back. And lift. Now if you've sat all the way up, if you're straight up, you're missing the benefit of gaining some strength here in the side of the waist. You should feel this right here in the side of the waist. As you inhale and exhale, let's go 2 more times. It looks good, you guys. Great. Excellent. And then that hand comes back to the leg and slowly lift yourself back up. Great. Take your right hand to the chair. And now what we're going to do is we're going to keep that left leg extended. We're going to bend the right elbow. We're going to lean into that right side and then come all the way up. And we can add the left arm. You can lift it forward and across your field of vision in the front, or you can go all the way up overhead if that feels okay. So slow and steady. If it feels like too much, if it's just getting to be too much, go back to the arm in front or no arm at all. You can simply lean into that right side without using your arm. So there's lots of options here. Whatever works best in your body today, that's the option you should go for. So just one more time, we're going to lean into that side and come all the way back up. Very nice. Now we're going to bend that left knee and slide the foot until the heel comes underneath the knee. So you might just kind of look there as your heel underneath your knee, and then make sure your knees are still wide apart. So if you've brought your knees together, make sure they're wide apart. And have you started to turn to the left? See if you can orient your body back toward me so you're oriented over that right leg. So with the body oriented to the left, you're not going to get the benefit of this stretch. Take your left arm, bring it down onto your left thigh, turn your palm up, breathe in, breathe out. So we're leaning into that left side. Take your right hand to your right shoulder. Inhale and lift that elbow way up in the air, you guys, and lift it up behind you. And then slowly come down and place the elbow on the palm of the hand. And lift up, 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 and forward and breathe. So when you come up as high as you can. So see if you can feel a stretch, feel a little bit of engagement in the waist. A lot going on here as we're lifting and lowering. 2 more times. Great, I lied. 1 more time, and we're gonna keep that elbow up, up, up. And then take that hand, bring it over to your right leg, roll forward, roll to the right, and then push yourself all the way up. Let's take that left foot, we're gonna walk it back, scoot your backside to the center of your chair, extend your legs, point your toes. Look down at your feet and notice if your legs are the same length again. So hopefully that's true, your legs are the same length, because now we've opened up the joints in both legs, the ankles, the knees, the hips. We've done a little work in the back where the spine and the hip bones kind of come together, and we've worked on all of these muscles. So let's bend the knees. We're going to bring the feet in so that your ankles are underneath your knees. Sit up really tall, and then see if you can come up on your toes. Lift up on your toes as much as you can, and then place your heels on the floor and lift your toes up off the floor. And then we're going to come up on the toes and on the heels. Now try not to move your body when you do this. This is just for the feet and the ankles. So if you're leaning forward and leaning back, you want to keep your body upright. Nice. Couple more of these. This is just a little more work for the ankles. Good. Okay, and then relax your legs and your feet. Let's do this. Let's just let all of the tension in the body out. So just kind of let yourself come into this really slumped position. Let your chin come toward your chest, let your back round, let your arms just kind of flop forward. You can let your knees flop out to the sides or flop in toward one another. Breathing in, breathing out. Notice the quality of your breath in this position. Notice where you feel movement. And now slowly begin to engage by pressing into your feet first and activating your leg muscles. And then lifting your hips up, feeling your back lengthen. Lifting your chest up, bringing your hands to your thighs, lifting your chin off your chest, getting nice and tall. Taking some deep breaths in and out here. Just notice the quality of your breath. And we'll do that again. So let go of all of the engagement. Just let yourself kind of slump down and forward. So your chin comes down to your chest, you're rounding through your back. Your legs just kind of splay in or out, whichever direction they choose to go. Your arms are just kind of hanging forward. So you're just in this really slumped forward position. Breathe in and breathe out as deeply as you can, and notice where you feel movement in your body. Notice where you don't feel movement in your body. And then starting in your feet, pressing into the floor, engage your leg muscles, engage your hips, your lower back, your mid back, your upper back, lifting up, lifting your chin off your chest, letting your arms get nice and active here too. So pull the shoulders back a little bit. And then breathe in and out into this more active position in your body. And notice where you feel movement. Notice if it's different than when you're in that really kind of slumped, that kind of bad posture that we just came out of. Okay, so now put your body in a position that is somewhere between that really slumped position and that really firm upright position. Somewhere in between, a little more on the upright side. Now you can use the back of your chair if you want it to sit and use the back of your chair for support. You can certainly do that. But just notice, sometimes when we get into this position in the back of the chair, we get into that really slumped posture. So you want to be mindful. If you've got your hands resting on your lap, don't have them too close to your knees, because what happens when the hands are close to the knees, it pulls us into that forward position. So let your hands rest a little closer to your hips or to your belly. And once you're here, you can close your eyes. And bring your awareness to your breath. Notice the way air is moving in and out of your body. And begin to consciously deepen your breathing. As you breathe deeply in and out, I invite you to direct your awareness to the space in your back where you feel movement. We often talk about the movement of the breath in the front of the body, in the belly, in the rib cage. But today I'm just going to ask you to direct your attention to the parts of your back where you can feel movement when you inhale and exhale. So you might just feel, if you're sitting against the back of your chair, you might breathe right into the back of your chair so that you can feel your back pushing into the chair when you inhale and exhale. Breathing into the back of your body is a lot different than breathing into the front of your body. For some people, it's a little bit harder to feel this. For other people, it's a little bit easier to feel the breath. With every breath in and out, see if you can feel movement in the back of your body. And if you're not sitting up against the back of your chair, see if you can feel that movement without the assistance of the back of the chair. Breathing in and breathing out. Come into a rhythm of breath that doesn't feel too taxing, but that's maybe slightly deeper than what you normally do. So the breath is just slightly deeper than, say, your natural breath, but it's not creating too much stress or tension in the body. As you breathe in and out, turn your attention to your mind. Notice your thoughts. Notice how thoughts move. And notice how they stick to one another a little bit. In other words, I have this thought, and then before I can feel like I've completed this thought, another one gets right in the way. So they kind of stick to one another. So you might imagine your thoughts like clouds in the sky. And if you have many thoughts that are really stuck to one another, it would be a pretty overcast day. It would be a sky filled with clouds. So visualize that. Visualize a sky filled with clouds. And know that this is what a busy mind is like. And then visualize, if you can, a sky with very few clouds. Just a few wispy, fluffy clouds. And there's lots of space between them. So you see a cloud here, and then there's a big patch of blue, and then there's maybe another little cloud coming after it. And this is what a calm mind feels like. So a calm mind has a few thoughts, but they continue to move. They don't crowd in with other thoughts. And there's a lot of space in between. And that space, that blue sky between the clouds, that space represents our presence. That space represents the here and now. And the clouds, they cover the here and now. They cover our presence, our ability to be in the moment. Because thoughts are never in the moment. Our thoughts are either of something in our past or something in our future. You cannot have a thought that's in the present moment. Because the only thing in the present moment is your breath. It's here and now. It's here and gone. And then we're on to the next breath. So visualizing these two different types of sky, the sky that's filled with clouds versus the sky that's just got a few clouds in it. You get to decide which kind of sky you want to cultivate today. And the only way that the sky will get overcast and filled with clouds is when you can't let go of your thoughts. Breathing in and breathing out, watching the air move in and out of your body is a wonderful practice to clear the sky, to clear the mind of all those cluttery thoughts. Just watch your breath. Each time a thought tries to grab your attention, take hold of you, turn your awareness back to your breath. As soon as you redirect back to your breath, that cloud moves away. And this is something you repeat. You can repeat over and over. Each time a thought comes up and you want to clear that thought, just redirect back to your breath. Don't try and struggle with the thought. Don't try to actively push it away or replace it with another thought. That just makes it more sticky, makes it stay there more. Just redirecting your attention back to your breath. And the breath is moving in and out of your body smoothly, evenly. And this is a practice you can turn to anytime during the day, anytime during the night if you've woken up and it's the middle of the night and you can't get back to sleep because your mind is kind of racing. You can use this method to try and clear the clouds from your sky. Take your right hand to your heart and then cover your right hand with your left. Let's draw in a deep breath and let it out with a sigh. Bringing your hands together, take a moment in gratitude. And thanks to yourself for your strength, your light, your wisdom, and in gratitude for all the gifts in your life, those gifts that you've worked hard for, and those gifts that have been given to you without any effort. Go off and have a wonderful rest of your day.